Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Oh, now you can hear me. Welcome to Safety Wars. So, this is Safety Wars for Monday, December 9, 2024. From the border of liberty and prosperity, how's everybody doing there? And the mic turned down before. I was doing some stuff. Hope everybody is doing well. Yeah, this, winding down to the end of the year, you're trying to tie up loose ends. Hold on. Pulling up our stories here. Pardon me, got the hiccups. And, all right. So I'm just making sure we have the names here for everybody. Hold on, everybody. I had a meeting that ran overtime. All right. Now we're ready to go. Got in here a little bit late tonight. Anyway. A lot of news today. A lot of news. Some of it OSHA related, some of it not OSHA related. But it's still safety related. And we had a conversation with somebody today on psychopathy. And I directed them to the Harris Psychopathic Checklist here. And we're going to be going through that in a couple of minutes here as we go along here. So here we had, I was working this morning out on a project, and I was working from home today, which is a rarity. No, we're actually working at home. Usually we're in the field somewhere. So last week, where was I? I had 3 training classes 3 days in a row. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And if I'm not feeling up to coming to this show and doing this show, usually I do it, I'm tired. Okay, tired, we could deal with. But if I'm not up to doing this show, I'm not going to waste your time or my time. So and that's just the reality of the thing. I have a lot of respect for the quote-unquote professional broadcasters that have to be there day after day, hour after hour. They don't have the luxury like you do when you're the writer, producer, do post-production, promotion, and everything else involved with a radio show, even an online show. I could take off a day here or there, and, that happens throughout the network here and also outside the network. When you're a professional broadcaster and you got to be on TV all the time, ain't easy. Same thing if you're a teacher, elementary, high school, middle school, that sort of thing. You got to go every day. I have uber respect for you folks that do that, because I don't know if I can do it, especially with the tinnitus. It gets a little bit rough. I was having conversations over the weekend with one of my new people who I'm doing business with on another project unrelated to safety. And he was like, man, that's not easy to manage. I said, no, it's not easy to manage at all sometimes. Friend of the program, rest in peace, Ian Punnett, had to leave the radio industry for some time because of his tinnitus. And I don't even think that they ever had figured out exactly what they were doing. So I come upstairs, and lo and behold, my father-in-law has this on the TV. The jury in Daniel Penny's case has come to a unanimous verdict Monday on his criminal negligent homicide charge stemming from the May 2023 killing of homeless man Jordan Neely on the New York City subway. Penny has been acquitted in the death of May 23rd death of homeless man Jordan Neely on the New York subway. There were a lot of videos here when it happened. The first charge, the jury was deadlocked on, and then they weren't deadlocked on the second one here. Now, what's the context here, right? Now you would say, well, we're against any type of violence. Yeah, we are against any type of violence. However, this is basically it. Penny's defense said Neely behaved erratically and yelled threats at passengers on the F train on May 1st, 2023. The confrontation lasted several minutes and was partially captured on video, sparking debate. Penny's defense argued that he acted to protect fellow passengers, citing his Marine Corps training and Neely's perceived threat. They dispute the city medical examiner's office conclusion that the chokehold is what caused Neely's death. A pathologist who I testified for defense said Neely died of a combination of synthetic marijuana use, a drug called K2, schizophrenia, a genetic condition, and his physical altercation with Penny. Prosecutors argued Penny used excessive force, noting that Neely didn't physically attack anyone, that the prolonged chokehold led to his death. But basically, I listened to everything afterwards that was on Channel 7 ABC News out of New York, where basically Alvin Bragg faced criticism for bringing the case to trial. And basically his response was the grand jury voted to indict here. Now, let me comment on this. Mental health. All right, first of all, if you know someone who is struggling with mental health, please get them help. We have a 988-pound and many, many other mental health resources out there. But if you're going to be dealing with people who have a mental illness, have a mental break, especially if you don't know them, this could go either way here with this. Well, the guy didn't touch anyone. Well, if the argument is if you perceive a threat, what do? Do you get involved or you not get involved here with this? Unfortunately, some bystander did get involved, and it did not have a very good outcome here, especially for Mr. Neely. Now, with Mr. Neely, I hate to play Monday morning quarterback here with this, but I think the system failed him. There's something wrong with the system. You say, well, what do you mean, Jim? You're ultra-conservative. Why aren't you for vigilantism? I'm against vigilantism. But I don't believe this was vigilantism. This was coming to somebody who was threatening people, allegedly, and everything else, and someone intervened. Now, the thing is, you cannot reason with someone who is in a mental crisis here. Very, very difficult. The autonomic system, or whatever it is, takes over. You cannot reason with them. Physical restraint is often used in these cases. Maybe that's what happened here. I don't know. But what happened? This person, Jordan Neely, had several charges against him in the past. Allegedly did some jail time. Allegedly got psychiatric help. They put him out on the street again and everything else. Maybe this person should have never been out on the street. Maybe we have to take a serious look at mental health care in this country. After knowing of a lot of cases personally here with this and how the system works, there's not enough capacity in the system, financially, personnel-wise, facility-wise, and in many other ways, to support the number of people who are having mental health crises. Allegedly, this person was diagnosed medically with schizophrenia. So what are we left to do? Exactly what happened here. This is what the solution is. Give them their medicine, and hopefully they'll take it. Because I tell you what, unless you have somebody there looking over your shoulder with a lot of these folks, ensuring that they take their medication, ensuring they go to their therapy sessions if that's appropriate, and everything else, a lot of these folks aren't going to do it. Look at people who do not have mental health issues, who do not have schizophrenia. Talk to any general practitioner. Do they want to go and get people to take their high blood pressure medication every day? It's a problem to get people who take their diabetes medication every day and take that seriously. It's an issue. Here we have somebody with a mental impairment who's allegedly mentally ill, trying to make sure that person gets their medication every day, has a support system and everything else. The system's not set up to do that. There's not enough capacity or resilience in that system to do that. And if they're having a mental crisis, try to get them help. You're going to wait 2 or 3 weeks in some cases, unless it's something immediate, to get this person through. And guess what? Oh, he's just yelling and what's the big deal? The man had some crime issues, was allegedly sentenced to jail, according to all the information that's been released to the public. And by the way, I don't believe all of the information reported to the public all the time. This may be one of them. So what are you left to do? The argument, well, he hasn't hurt anybody, he hasn't done this. So rather than putting people with mental health issues in an appropriate care setting, we're putting them into prison to get further brutalized. Talk to anybody who has been in prison or read their books out there. What happens? And it's unfortunately been from a white-collar type crimes, not so much the normal crimes out there. Try to read some of these books. One of the ones that comes to mind is From Jailer to Jailed by Bernard Kerik. But there are many books out there that detail and interviews. They go into prison, you get brutalized. I've spoken to several correction officers over the years that I've known. You go in there, you get more and further brutalized. And then what happens? Eventually, you get released onto the street. It's a lot. Now, you may say, well, the family is to blame for this. The family didn't keep I hear that too. Well, if you've never dealt with this situation and you're taking it a little bit out of context, you don't know what's involved with it. I don't know what his personal situation was. But we have to there has to be a point in time as a society that we actually go out and confront our mental health issues in this country. And guess what? A lot of the folks out there that I've spoken to, I've dealt with people with on the autism spectrum, giving them safety training. One of the things that I hear from the counselors, I said, man, you're kind of rough on them, aren't you? Yeah, we've got to be very firm with them without being abusive and or anything else, because if we don't do that, we're going to have a problem. I've spoken to people who, social workers and psychiatrists and caretakers in psychiatric facilities. They're like, yeah, we have to be very tough. Because we have to do it. Well, this is what it is. But within the context of not being abusive, without the abuses of the 1970s that were exposed by people like Geraldo Rivera, who won a Peabody Award. With this, we don't want to go back to that. Now, what are we left to do here? Because I tell you what, one of the outcomes of this case, whether we like it or not, is that people who don't know what the hell they're doing are going to try to interfere in cases like this with the thinking that nothing will ever happen to them. They'll never be convicted or anything else. And there's still, from what I understand, a civil case with this here also. So that's my thinking on this with Mr. Neely. And let's, as usual, I'm calling for calm. I call for people. There was one person who called for what's the word I'm looking for? Vigilante justice against white people. I mean, this is this was on the news today, right? I don't know if that, if I was African American, I might feel some of that with that. Might be outraged with that. Let's have some patience and understanding. Try to work things out. Don't cover things up under the carpet here with this. And one activist said, all right, white supremacy got another victory. I don't know. But they're, again, avoiding these resolutions, avoiding these problems, and everything else is not going to work out very good for us in the United States. We need some kind of patience, understanding, getting along with each other, right? And everything else. And guess what? Anyone wants to discuss this? Anyone wants to come on the program and discuss any of it? Please, you're welcome on the program. As Todd Conklin says, more information does not make us more stupid. And with that, we're going to go to our first commercial break.
From the front lines of the safety war, it's Safety Wars, with your host, Jim Posel on Safety FM. Get ready to face the harsh reality.
Hey there, safety professionals. Welcome to another episode of Safety Wars on Safety FM, hosted by Jim Posel, and today we're diving into what it really means to be on the front lines of the safety war. So, let's start with the basics. Safety is not just a set of rules or regulations. It's a culture, a mindset, a way of life. When we talk about safety, we're not just protecting workers from harm. We're building an environment where everyone can thrive. It's about going home safe and sound to our families every single day. Now, hey there, safety professionals. Welcome to another episode of Safety Wars on Safety FM, hosted by Jim Posel, and today we're diving into what it really means to be on the front lines of the safety war. So, let's start with the basics. Safety is not just a set of rules or regulations. It's a culture, a mindset, a way of life. When we talk about safety, we're not just protecting workers from harm. We're building an environment where everyone can thrive. It's about going home safe and sound to our families every single day. Now, I know it sounds like a heavy responsibility, but that's why we're here. To make sure everyone understands the importance of safety and knows how to implement it effectively. Whether you're a seasoned safety professional or just starting out, there's always something new to learn. Let's talk about some key strategies. First up, communication. It's critical to ensure that everyone on the team is on the same page. Regular safety meetings, clear signage, and open dialogue can prevent a lot of accidents before they even happen. Next, let's focus on training. Proper training equips your team with the knowledge and skills they need to stay safe. Remember, it's not just about ticking a box. It's about making sure every worker understands the why behind each safety protocol. This understanding fosters a culture of safety where everyone looks out for one another. Of course, we can't forget about technology. From wearable safety devices to advanced monitoring systems, technology is revolutionizing how we approach safety. Embrace it. Use these tools to enhance your safety programs and keep your team protected. But let's not get too comfortable. Safety is an ongoing battle. New risks and challenges emerge all the time. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never stop striving for a safer workplace. So, what's the takeaway? Safety is everyone's responsibility. It's about creating a culture where safety is ingrained in everything we do. As safety professionals, it's our job to lead by example and inspire our teams to commit to a safer future. Thanks for tuning into Safety Wars on Safety FM. Stay safe out there, and remember, every day is a new opportunity to make a difference. Catch you on the next episode.
In the professional safety community, communication and planning are just a few keys to your program's success. The question many practitioners have is, where do I start? Dr. Jay Allen, the creator of the Safety FM platform and host of the Rated R Safety Show, has built a global foundation to help you along the way. Go to safetyfm.com and listen to some of the industry's best and most involved professionals, including Blaine Hoffman with the Safety Pro, Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd, Sheldon Primus with the Safety Consultant, Jim Pozell with Safety Wars, Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bold, and many others. As individuals, we can do great things, but as a team, we become amazing. Dial into safetyfm.com today and surround yourself with a powerful force of knowledge and support.
OSHA recordables, catastrophic losses, environmental disasters. You want answers? So do I. This is Jim Posel with Safety Wars.
That's my daddy!
Okay, here we are again, right?
From the front lines of the safety war, it's Safety Wars, with your host, Jim Posel on Safety FM. Get ready to face the harsh reality.
All right, so here we have the other story here from last week, where they allegedly found, and I said everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Suspect in fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, ID'd as, and I'm not going to mention the person's name here because there's a lot of hype and a lot of pressure to solve this crime all around. I don't want to be like another Richard Jewell situation here from the 1996, I think it was, 1996 Olympic Park bombing, where the media and police did a jump on someone, and it turns out that the person had nothing to do with the crime there, and then ended up having a very rough life afterwards, and ended up, people believe, ended up killing him because of the media, and I think there was a lawsuit and everything else involved with it. So I'm not going to mention the person's name here, but no doubt, we woke up here in the New York area, all over the news, was that they snapped a suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and found out the alleged person is an anti-capitalist Ivy League grad who liked online quotes from Unabomber Ted Kaczynski and seed in a manifesto that these parasites had it coming, according to law enforcement sources, according to New York Post on Monday. Tech Wiz, originally from Towson, Maryland, apparently hated the medical community because of how it treated its sick relatives, sources said. The suspect also may have held a grudge because one of his own interactions with the industry, noting an X-ray photo on his X account showing 4 pins in his spine. So again, like some of the other people like this, the person hailed from a wealthy, well-known Maryland family, the cousin in the state legislature, and had 5 books on chronic back pain in his reading list. High school friends said they were shocked to learn that the one-time prep school valedictorian at Stellar University Penn graduate may have been struggling, and even more so to hear that he had something to do with the case. He was always about doing the right thing, so a former classmate said. Right? and going on. He was a frat guy, was apparently not anything else. Now, a couple of things here with this, and questions I have. All right, and I think this might, I pointed this out at the time. As everyone knows, I don't normally talk about security or gun issues, personal security or gun issues. But as a result of a shooting in upstate New York, where the perpetrator was a mass shooting, I believe, in outside of Buffalo, in a supermarket, there was a law passed in New York that outlawed bulletproof vests. My question is this. If that law wasn't passed, would this gentleman have been wearing a PPE? Might not have this have happened had we didn't have the knee-jerk reaction? Hold on. We got to go to commercial break here.
Want to avoid hefty OSHA fines and keep your team safe? Let's dive into the General Duty Clause. The General Duty Clause, Section 5A1 of the OSHA Act of 1970, is a catch-all rule to cover unregulated hazards. Employers must keep workplaces free from recognized dangers that could cause death or serious harm. For OSHA to cite you under the General Duty Clause, they must prove the following 4 things. 1. The employer failed to render its workplace free of a hazard. 2. An employee was exposed to that hazard. 3. That hazard was causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm. And 4. Feasible means exist to free the workplace of the hazard. Employees are...
Right. So we're going to have a curtailed program here. So, number 1, where did the gun come from? Number 2, if the bulletproof vest had been legal in New York, would he have survived this? 3, where was his security? Number 4, the response from some people to this, thinking that he deserved to die, disgusting. Nobody deserves to die. Nobody deserves to be murdered. And there's some people who, after the political season this past year, all right, I'm not going to associate with some people because I can't. No, it's not that you want to have a conversation with them and everything else. You want to have a dialogue and but some of the people rejoicing that somebody was killed, really? What the hell's up with that? Some people who internet people who do a lot of internet research, they're called upon by law enforcement to work on cases like this because of, trying to get, people researching and everything, stuff online. What the hell? Those people are okay with this? They don't want to work on this case either. A lot of very disappointing things here. Let's say a prayer for the family with this and everything else, and maybe we'll learn something here and address it. That's my greatest hope on this. So for Safety Wars, something just came up. We will be back here tomorrow. Same time, probably. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Posel.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.